thing I want to mention. Can I have everybody's attention so I don't, I need everybody sunglasses on.
No.
Okay, I want you looking at me now. I want everybody looking at me. This is the part that I get serious on the trip, because I got to look in everybody's eyes. Okay. First thing, I'm looking at everybody in their eyes. Everybody's looking at me. Show of hands. Thank you. Show of hands. Who's not going to crash the entire trip? Who's not going to crash? We got one non-crasher. No, that's not what I asked.
Oh, no.
I asked who thinks they're not going to crash the entire trip. Okay, we got one non-crasher. Ed thinks he's not going to crash. You're not going to crash. You're not going to crash. Okay. You guys I'm going to worry about, and here's why. Is because I want everybody thinking that there's a potential that you're going to crash. You could be a really good rider. You could ride in the Paris to Dakar. But you know what? You never know when that cow's going to run out of the bushes right there in front of you and nail you. You don't know when there's like your mind's kind of drifting off. That one time and a semi-truck's coming around the corner and on a dirt road that you would never think there would be a truck on. There's all kinds of things. Every trip that I go on, I always learn something new, something else to watch out for. And I've been down here hundreds of times. And I always think that there is a potential to crash. Even if you're playing it safe and you think, you know, all I do is I want to enjoy myself, I want to go home, and I want to have a good time, and I don't want to get hurt. That's what everybody's goal is, but still, it could happen. So if you're thinking about it, you're more focused on it, and you are going to be more humble. You know, we're all guys here. We all has this testosterone. I saw some of it last night, and I just want everybody thinking that. And everybody says that's not going to happen to me, but half the trips it happens to somebody. So about half the trips, somebody ends up breaking a bone or something on the trip, and we got a pretty big group, and we didn't have a broken bone on the last trip. So let's keep the odds going, and so it doesn't happen. But everybody thinks it's not going to happen to them, and it does. And it typically happens when you get like a bunch of friends that haven't ridden in years, and everybody's like trying to show each other, you know, who the fastest guy was, even though you haven't ridden together in a while. Especially going into lunch today. Most of our crashes happen the first day going into lunch. It's because people aren't used to the bike, they're not used to Baja. And the more I kind of talk about this and the more I kind of pound in people's heads, because before I'd talk about it for like a minute and just kind of move on because people are like, yeah, that's not going to happen to me. But I find out there's a direct correlation. The more I kind of pound in people's heads, the less crashes we have. I've got pictures. If you don't believe me, I can show you guys. I can tell you lots of good stories and stuff that happens where people aren't paying attention and they get hurt. I have personal stories where it happened to me, where I'm not paying attention and I get hurt. We're doing something stupid. So, yeah, first thing, what we're going to do is we're a big group. At some point, we'll probably divide into two groups, but going into lunch, we'll probably stay together, or at least partway through. Is to stay together, we do something called posting. And some of you guys have been here before and know what posting is. And what posting is, say the lead bike, whoever's leading, one of the guys is leading. Say I'm up in the front, and we get to a T intersection like this. And we're going to turn to the right. So I'm going to come up, I'm going to post here. I'm going to stay, I'm going to look over my shoulder, I'm going to raise my hand. You can't hear me, but I'm saying post here. The next guy comes up. Let's say it's race. Happy birthday, by the way. So you're coming up, you're flying down the road. You see me up here, I'm waving my hand like this at you. You're going to come up, you're going to see me, and you're going to acknowledge me with a wave. Okay? Not a shake in the head, not a foot, not anything else. But you're going to put your hand up in the air. Because if I don't see a hand up in the air, I'm not going to go. Because that means you have a message to tell me. There's something you want to tell me, a message that's coming up from the back. Like there's a flat tire or something back there. But once I see your hand, and you acknowledge, yes, I see this as a post, I acknowledge that we're going to turn to the right because you're going to see me turn to the right. You're going to come and you're going to post in the exact position that I posted. Not over here, not up here, but right where I posted, because this is a safe spot. And an unsafe spot would be kind of like in the inside of a blind corner, where if you're coming up, you're doing 100 miles an hour, and you're going to run right into the back of them because you didn't post in the area that was visible where I posted. So post in the exact spot. So, you know, race, Now you're posted here. I've taken off to the right, and you're coming up. You're doing 100 miles per hour, but you see Race, he's sitting there. You're going to be raising your hand like this, and you're going to be saying post here. He's not going to hear you, but he's going to know what that means because you got your hand up in the air. You're going to come up, same thing. You're going to raise your hand, acknowledge to him that you see and acknowledge that's a post, and you're going to wait there. And we keep doing that all the way to the back. Where we have problems is sometimes they're bunched up together. Sometimes they're like people nose to tail, 3 or 4 bikes apart, and the posting kind of breaks down where nobody really knows what's going on. The 4th guy doesn't even get a hand signal and just kind of coasts through the corner, and the 5th guy's screwed and he goes straight. The 6th guy goes straight. 7th guy goes straight, and they're all of a sudden they're leading their own tour. I don't even know, this may go off a cliff here. So it's important that we don't miss a post and we get really good hand signals, really good communications. And I'm going to take 3 minutes and tell you a story that happened on a trip about a month ago. And these guys really pissed me off because they broke one of the biggest rules, and that is if you're lost, come to a stop. It was just me and 2 guys, and it was a 3rd day. We were communicating well and stuff, and I came around a couple corners, and each corner I look back and I see the guys, behind me. And I went about a mile and a half, and I got to the top of a rise, and I looked back, and the other guy was behind me, but the other guy wasn't. So I waited for about a minute. I went back looking for him because I figured he crashed, because there was really no other possible way that he could have got lost without doing something really dumb. Well, I rode all the way back to where I last saw him. He wasn't there. So then I start looking in the bushes off the side of the road. I was looking down in every ravine, every bush and stuff, and he wasn't there. There were 2 little roads that kind of teed off the side, like this. The obvious road went straight. I went a couple miles down these roads, and these roads made all kinds of turns and stuff like that. Wasn't there. Wasn't there. So I asked a rancher who's come by, and he said he saw a red bike down at the beach. We rode all the way down at the beach. He wasn't there. Rode all the way back, looked in the bushes some more. Basically looked for the guy for 3 hours. Guy he vanished. He was gone. I spread out my distance. I started looking 5 miles down this road, 5 miles down this road, going back like 3 corners, going this way, going that way. 3 hours, he was gone. Went back, looked in the bushes some more for a dead guy. Meanwhile, I'm trying to get on the sat phone with the truck to tell them to, get in and kind of help me look for this guy. It's going to get dark and stuff, and finally got hold of the sat phone and he on the truck, and the truck driver says he's here. I go, what do you mean he's here? The truck was 50 miles away. What happened was he somehow got lost. He started making turns that he assumed, like going through fences and going through gates and stuff like that. And then he turned around when he got to a dead end, and he says, I'm not too sure which way to get out. So he looks over and he sees a town off in the distance. Goes right into the town, asks a cop which way it is to Ensenada, because he thought that's where we were going, even though we weren't going to Ensenada. And just by sheer luck, the truck that was coming back to meet us in Santa Tomas, he pulled over and he was texting his wife, call Chris Haynes, I'm lost. It's on Sunday, so he's not getting hold of anybody. His wife's not. And, I'm lost. Tell him I'll meet him in Ensenada. Ensenada's that huge town. Where is he going to meet us in Ensenada? And basically, the guy panicked. If he would have just stopped the first corner, the second corner, somewhere within the 5 fucking mile radius, I would have found him. But the guy decided he was going to save himself and drive 50 miles out of the way, and to a town that we weren't even going to. So, in any case, you can tell I want to kill that guy because, one, he was calling Chris Haynes, saying that, hey, I'm lost. Ed fucked up. When he fucked up, and I told him, stay put and stuff like that. In any case, so nobody do that on this trip, okay?
And if it's reality, you thought he was dead too. You had no idea where he was.
Yeah, exactly. And we would have never found him because he wouldn't have been able to call Chris Haynes until Monday morning, and we would have been looking for the guy all night. And